Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 12th installment of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Best Deck series. Today I'm going to be showing you a deck built completely around Dark Magician and Spellcaster monsters. Just before the video starts, I'd just like to apologise for the lack of uploads. I've been a little busy. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so the best character for this deck is Yami Yugi with the ability Power of Dark. What Power of Dark does is it allows you to begin the duel with the field spell Yami activated. Yami increases the attack and defense of all Fiend and Spellcaster type monsters by 200 and also decreases the attack and defense of all Fairy type monsters by 200. Fairly self-explanatory why this is a really good ability for this deck. This deck's all about Spellcaster type monsters, every creature in here is a Spellcaster, so having that extra 200 points of damage is fairly useful. This ability isn't exactly core to for the deck. Like, you can have whatever character you like with whatever ability you like, but keeping Yugi with Dark Magician at a bonus plus this 200 point damage is fairly relevant. Alright, now I'll move on to the deck list. This deck contains 3 Dark Magician Girls, 3 Legion the Fiend Jester, 1 Dark Magician, 3 Neo the Magic Swordsman, 3 Sage's Stone, 2 Mirror Walls, 2 Champions Vigilance, and 3 Magician Circles. So this deck isn't exactly set in stone. You can change a lot of the cards out. For example, the Neo, the Magic Swordsman, can be changed with any other Spellcaster type monster, as long as it's normal monster, because that will work with Legion the Fiend Jester a bit more. And Mirror Walls are also not really needed in this deck, I just prefer to have them. Same with Champions Vigilance. Pretty much if you want to run this deck, all you really need is Dark Magician Girl, Dark Magician, Sage's Stone, and Magician Circle, and any other Spellcaster type monsters you like, and you can run a variant of this deck. This is just the one that I've been running and the one that I've been enjoying the most, and I have the most success with. Also, I'd just like to say this deck isn't the most competitive thing out there. It's not exactly tier 1. I'd say it's roughly maybe tier 3. It's not a bad deck, but it's not a very great deck. Alright, so now I'll move on to the strategy behind the deck and how all the cards work together. So the aim of this deck is to play any Spellcaster type monster, combine it with Magician Circle to pull out Dark Magician Girl, then use Sage's Stone to bring out Dark Magician. So it's a fairly simple combo, really easy to get your head around. Pretty much Magician Circle is, whenever a Spellcaster type monster declares an attack, each player special summons one Spellcaster type monster with attack of 2000 or less from each of their deck into attack position. So pretty much, you play your Spellcaster, you swing at them, activate your trap, pull out Dark Magician Girl, and in future turns you can use Sage's Stone to bring out Dark Magician. Magician Circle will work whenever one of your monsters attacks or one of their monsters attacks. As long as it's a Spellcaster that is attacking, you can use Magician Circle. What Sage's Stone does is if you control a face-up Dark Magician Girl, you can special summon one Dark Magician from your hand or deck. So this deck is very self-explanatory, very easy combo, so if you're new to the game, very easy strategy. And most of the cards in this deck are farmable from the Legendary Duel list. You don't actually have to open packs to get them. So now I want to go more in depth about each of the cards in the deck. We'll start with the monsters. The monsters in the deck are Neo the Magic Swordsman, Legion the Fiend Jester, Dark Magician Girl, and Dark Magician. So Neo the Magic Swordsman is the highest stat normal Spellcaster monster that is level 4 or below. So he is the ideal card, but he can be swapped out with any other level 4 or lower Spellcaster type monster. You don't actually need this guy to run with the deck. It is very important though that you keep them to being normal monsters, because they work with Legion the Fiend Jester, which I'll go into in a minute. Legion the Fiend Jester is in here as kind of a second way to get Dark Magician Girl onto the board, because what Legion the Fiend Jester does is it allows you to conduct and tribute summon on the same turn you do a normal summon, as long as it is a Spellcaster type monster. So essentially, if you have Legion the Fiend Jester and Dark Magician Girl in your hand, you can play it and then play Dark Magician Girl on top, use that as the tribute, all on the same turn. Keep in mind, Legion the Fiend Jester is also a spellcaster, so it can be used with your Magician's Circle. The second part of what Legion the Fiend Jester does is, if it is removed from the board, destroyed or tributed or whatever, it can then, its effect activates and you can draw a normal spellcaster type monster from your deck or your graveyard and add it to your hand. This is why I recommend you have all normal spellcasters in the place of Neo, the Magic Swordsman, as it has that kind of added synergy with Legion the Fiend Jester. Dark Magician Girl is in here obviously because it's like the highest statted spellcaster monster that you can pull out from Magician's Circle. It's a strong statted card, has a combo with other Dark Magicians and Dark Magician Girls if they're in your graveyard. It's the card you use with Sage's Stone to bring out Dark Magician. Pretty much it's what the deck's built around. And the final monster in this deck is Dark Magician. This card is in here as kind of your finisher / your win condition. Strictly speaking, Dark Magician doesn't need to be a part of the deck, but the whole reason I built this deck was to have a deck that's viable to run Dark Magician in. The reason there's only one Dark Magician in this deck is because you don't need to have any more than that, because Sage's Stone brings it out of the deck, so you don't need to have it in your hand. So drawing Dark Magician is generally bad. You don't actually want to draw the card, you just want to pull it out of the deck. You want to save the cards you draw for cards like Magician's Circle or any of your spellcasters. You just don't want to draw Dark Magicians. Alright, now I'll talk about the spells and traps in this deck. The spells and traps in this deck are Magician's Circle, Sage's Stone, Mirror Wall, and Champion's Vigilance. So the first two cards in this deck are obviously for the combo. Magician's Circle is the one to pull out Dark Magician Girl, and then Sage's Stone is the card you use to bring out your Dark Magician. I've already spoken about these a lot, so there's not really much else to say about them, so I'll just move on to the other two cards. The other two cards in this deck are here, but they don't have to be in this deck. I just prefer them in here. They are defensive cards that are used to keep your minions alive, so you can try and get your combo off. Because you only one Dark Magician, it's kind of important that you keep him alive once you've got him out on the board. You don't want him attacking into a mirror wall or getting destroyed by any traps or anything. So having Champion's Vigilance on the board when your Dark Magician is there is a good way of keeping him alive. What Champion's Vigilance does is if you control a level 7 or higher monster, when a monster would be summoned or a spell or trap card is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy the card. So you can't use Champion's Vigilance with Dark Magician Girl, just keep that in mind. It can only be used with Dark Magician. Mirror Wall is in here to defend more of the lower side of your cards, your low level spellcaster type monsters. Because without them, you can't really use the rest of your combo, and you can't always guarantee that you get your Magician's Circle out on turn 1. Also, Mirror Wall is kind of a really good all-round card, so it can be used to protect your Dark Magician Girls later on in the game, or your Dark Magicians. It's just a really good card. Alright, so stay around for gameplay of this deck if you want to see it in action, how the combo works. But otherwise, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is my key to victory! If you are a true duelist, I expect nothing. It's time to duel! It's my turn. My turn is done. My turn. I draw a card. Now is the time. I summon a monster in attack position. I set this card face down. Let's battle! Here we go. I attack with a monster. My turn is done. It's my turn. I draw a card. I'm counting on you. I summon a monster in attack position. I set this card face down. Time to battle. Here we go. I attack with a monster. My turn is done. It's my turn. I draw a card. I set a card. My turn is done. It's my turn. I draw a card. Now's the time. I summon a monster in attack position. Time to battle. Playtime is over. I attack your life points directly. Now, I use my face down card. My trap activates. The great dark magician has a disciple who can more than hold her own. Say hello to Dark Magician Girl! My turn is done. Here I go. My turn. I draw a card. From my hand, I activate a spell. My ever-faithful companion, Dark Magician! Now's the time. I summon a monster in attack position. The great Dark Magician has a disciple who can more than hold her own. Say hello to Dark Magician Girl! My monster's effect activates. Time to battle. Go, Dark Magician Girl! Dark Burning Attack! Now, I use my face down card. My continuous trap activates. I use my face down card. My counter trap activates. What? It's not over yet. Go, Dark Magician! Dark Magic Attack! My cards will not fail me. You're finished. I attack your life points directly! I lost. It's not whether you...